Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another EVE Online video. My name is Expedishun, and if you watch my most recent video, it was talking about how the new chapter, I had to leave nullsec and come back up due to personal stuff rather than anything else. And in that I talked about how I was losing ISK, and in the course of being in nullsec and then coming back up to high sec, I have either lost or spent about 95% of the ISK that I had. Now, I don't have an awful lot of ISK left. It's quite low, if I'm being completely honest. But what I do have is all the ships and assets that I need to be able to make all that back relatively quickly and more. So while the ISK wallet is looking particularly thin, I am not worried in the slightest, because again I have all the necessary stuff to be able to get all of that back and then make some extra as well. With that being said, that is one of the things that we're doing. We're doing this really lucrative mining, and we're going to go through it. Now, I will point out that this video idea was not mine. The idea of being able to do this sort of mining was not my idea. Also, the ships that is used in it and the ship fittings used in it is not my idea either. So, it is done by Jake. Whenever it comes to doing different types of activities and stuff, he's absolutely amazing to be watching. I will link the original video down in the description below, but what we are going to do is we are going to take two accounts. One is going to be in a prospect and the other is going to be in a porpoise, and we're going to take both ships and we're going to go to Pochven. Now, Pochven, extremely dangerous, especially for, I would say, for miners, because you're going to appear up on D-scan, and when a venture or a prospect or an expedition appears up on D-scan, quite often people are going to go for it to try and get it. And the problem is that, in my experience, and while I have done it to others, cloaky ships can be the bane of my existence, just because it's a case of you won't know they're there until they're right on top of you. Okay, but these ship fittings, which we're going to go over now, is a case of, it's so, like, the prospect warps really quickly. So once you get to the whole idea is you get to the belt, you align to the belt or to a safe warp off point, and you just sit there and mine until your ore hold is filled, and then or if someone appears up, then you warp off, of course. So we are going to go through this now. The ship fittings for both characters, without any implants or anything to boost anything like that, both character ships come to in and around, we'll call it an even 300 million. So not expensive, and the return that you can get is absolutely insane, and I mean insane. So the ore that you can get from Pochven it's lucrative and it's valuable, because one, the ore that you can get in Pochven only comes in Pochven, it's nowhere else. Okay, and a lot of people don't want to take that risk and that opportunity to go to Pochven to potentially lose ships. So that bumps the price up a bit. And whenever it comes to the reprocessing side of things, it also contains a lot more of certain materials than normal ores, which again inflates the price. So basically, it is a case of, I've done this twice now. Okay, so the first time that I'd done it for about an hour and a half, just to kind of get the feel for it. Okay, so just to kind of see how things worked, make my save points and stuff like that there, and kind of just get the feel for Pochven, because this was only like the third time I've been in Pochven. It's not a place that I regularly go. It's not a place that I would previously regularly go. Now I'm definitely going to, because it's going to be a case of you can make serious amount of money very quickly, actually. So again, like I said, it's 300 million for the both ships. Now I am going to change the fittings myself here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them up on my screen so that I actually have them while I do this. So let me see here. If I do, so I'm looking for the prospect, because that's what we've been using. So the Pochven one, okay. What I would do, and now this is personal preference, because the ship fittings that I have been using up until this stage have been the one that Jake uses. Okay, so it's a case of I would make some changes myself rather than anything else. And what I would do is the warp core stabilizer that is on the prospect ship fitting, I'm going to be removing that, and either I'm going to put in yet another mining laser upgrade 2, or I'm going to put in an inertial stabilizer. We warp off pretty fast, and especially since we're aligned, I'm thinking that maybe another mining laser upgrade, if it makes a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly check this. So we're doing it at every 60 seconds. Okay, so the mining laser upgrade adds, for me, the CPU goes over. So that's fine. What I will do is another inertial stabilizer. So I'm just going to go with that one, just for that wee bit of extra quick warp off, so that I don't have to. It's again one slightly less worry. Okay, the porpoise itself, you will notice that there is no boosting on it. So there's no boosting on it whatsoever. Reason being is that the way that this would work is the two ships would go in to Pochven. The porpoise immediately docks up and sits in station. And then obviously the prospect goes out and does all the mining. This is the way that I have worked it, and the way that I have wanted to work it. And what I do, and another step that I would take, is as soon as my porpoise is in station, I actually go ahead and I log off my main character that's piloting the porpoise. Reason being is that if I'm sitting in station, someone can see that that I'm in that station, and I want to keep my footprint in Pochven as low as humanly possible. So I will log that off so that I just sit in the prospect, and then whenever I've got a significant amount of ore, what I'll do is I'll give it to the porpoise. Okay, and then once that's all sorted, that's whenever I'm getting ready to leave. Now the first time that I done this, I sat in there for about an hour or so, and I made maybe about 40 million, 50 million. And then the second time that I was there, I sat in there for maybe about another 3 hours over the course of 2 days. Well, say 2 days. It was, I went in late at night one night, done like an hour, and then logged in the next day and done like another 2 hours. And when doing that, I ended up making around 296 million within those couple of hours, because it was crazy, because the ore itself there's obviously varying ones, but the ore itself was probably about 150 million's worth, and then as soon as it got compressed, the estimated ISK value went up to about 296 million. Now the reason why, so I'm only going to do this, say, once per week, maybe for a few hours per week. Reason being is getting into Pochven's easy, getting out is relatively easy, because all you do, for me, is I warp to a safe point. As soon as I warp to a safe point, I do my compression there, which is it's the most risky time to be doing that, because obviously while the industrial core is active, you can't move. you can't cloak up, you can't move, you can't warp off. So if someone sees you, you're a sitting duck basically, and then all of that ore and stuff that you just had just all went to waste. So what I do is I would bring it out. I bring out my porpoise, and as soon as I bring out my porpoise, what I do is I sit and I would have my porpoise cloaked up for a bit, maybe a minute or two, just constantly checking D-scan. And then what I do after that then is I uncloak, compress everything, and then either cloak back up again if my second character is getting ready. If not, I filament out, and then I make my way back. Now, making your way back is it's not as easy because it doesn't leave you off the same place that you left from. So when I leave from my home system, I will not come back to my home system. You come back, the furthest away that I come back was 20 jumps, I believe it was. And then you just make your way back. Now the porpoise itself is built for travel, so the align time on it it's actually quite insane. I think it's like 4 seconds for a porpoise. That's just crazy. So it is, if I'm being honest. So it's designed for travel. It's hard to stop it. So once you get going, you just keep worrying about getting to the next gate. Now the last time that I was doing this, one of the systems that took me through was Tama, which was a wee bit nerve-wracking because I was coming back with 296 million plus the porpoise itself. So with the ship and the ore inside it, you're talking around about 450, no, actually somewhere in the range of about 530 million. Which wasn't exactly great if that had been killed. Thankfully I made it back home in time. I believe that this is something that I am going to do as part of just my weekly routine of building up. I think that there's going to be a certain threshold for myself where I say, right, I am mining a certain amount, whether that be in ISK value or quantity, whether that be, say, for talk's sake, right, in Pochven I want to, this week I want to do 500 million in ore, and then after that, anything after the 500 million in ore is just going to be used for reprocessing for my what do you call that, for my industry stuff. Okay, because again, within that there is so much. So if I do this, because I'm going to go through and I'm just going to kind of run through some of the stuff that we've got here. So if I do kernite, okay, if we reprocess kernite, the reprocessed materials is Mexalin is 60 units and Isogen is 120 units. Okay, if I come down here and we do scordite, say for talk's sake, titanium is 150 units and pyrite is 90 units. Okay, now if I come down here and I do spodumene, if that's how you pronounce it, titanium is 48,000 units, Isogen is 1,000 units, Noxium is 160 units, Zydrin is 80 units, and Megasite is 40 units. And that's all from the one. Now, when you're talking about, mining quite a bit constantly of that, if you're spending a few hours per day, you're going to get loads of that, and then if I come up to the benznacine, titanium is 40,000 units, Isogen is 4,800 units, and Megasite is 128 units. So in the terms of reprocessing for the industry stuff, there is a lot for that, and that's why I'm doing it. So I would say 75% of the time and the ore that I get from Pochven is going to be for just my monthly selling, to make back that money, but then the other 25% is going to be used for industry stuff, so that for blueprints and stuff that I'm going to be making, because I'm going to be doing other things to make money as well. That other 25% is going to go on that, but see, to be honest, since I seen his video of him doing that in that, I was like, right, this is something that I need to get onto, because again, I love the prospect. I have all of the fittings and I have all the ships to be able to pull this off. I have the filaments to get in and out. It's a case of, that ISK basically is there for the taking. Granted, if I lose my prospect, it's 30 million and I jump just back into Pochven. The only real danger is losing the prospect, or not the prospect, the porpoise. And if you lose that if you lose that while you're doing your compression, that time and ore is gone. If you lose it on the way back to your home system, that time and ore is gone. Okay, but again, I've got very lucky recently. So, after, as of recording this video, I'm planning on going back out maybe at some stage later on tonight for a few days. And by a few days, I don't mean just constantly mining. I mean just, spending maybe 5-6 hours over the next few days of just getting that, see what I can get. Even if it's a case of constantly jumping in and out, just mining as much as I possibly can do going forward, just to see what we can do, because we are coming to the end of the month, so I'm not expecting this monthly intake to be massive, but we can definitely inflate those numbers between now and then. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for me. Pochven ore mining is very lucrative, and if you have the ships and the skills to do so, I highly advise on getting on that. But listen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.